Hey everybody, it's First Warn Storm Team Chief Meteorologist Brad Panovich. Thought I'd do a Thursday night vlog talking about the potential for a little bit of wintry weather in the mountains, but really more so the miserable rain that we're going to see across a big chunk of the area. Let me adjust my camera there a little bit. The real story in this setup is kind of the rainy setup for Friday. So if you've got Friday plans, it looks pretty soggy out there. You can see the winter weather advisory, which now has been extended till 1 p.m. and includes now Mitchell and Yancey counties and all the way up into Southwest Virginia. So these areas are expecting a little bit of ice in the morning into early afternoon. Now, I even think there where we're going to see some ice, it's probably going to be pretty isolated stuff. That moves in. Let me show you the rain. It's off to the west. Pretty significant system here as far as rainfall. And even tonight, we're getting some false returns here showing up on the radar. Let me go to the radar only. Because when you look at this, you see the radar's picking up. Radar's picking up stuff aloft. What's going on is a lot of this moisture is not reaching the surface yet. Down here, we're probably starting to see some, but this is what I jokingly call virga or snurga. Virga is rain that falls from the cloud and evaporates before reaching the ground. Snurga is snow that doesn't technically evaporate. It's called sublimation, but essentially that's what it is as it reaches the surface. But that's moistening up the atmosphere and also cooling it down through the process of evaporative cooling. Now this system is pretty potent. It's got a nice big low back to the west, big vorticity we call it with it, and you could see this is really cool looking on the water vapor loop. You kind of geek out when this as a meteorologist because you see this real tight cinnamon roll type swirl here. That's a lot of energy, and when this energy swings through, if it were to come through, this could actually enhance the chance of seeing some snow, but it looks like this might actually go up more this way. So that's something to watch for tomorrow. Where does this energy actually translate to? Because that'll be a big part of what we see. So as far as rain chances tonight, how they ramp up, this is really for the Piedmont and the Charlotte area. Notice they kind of start kind of low here in the next couple of hours and then ramp up to almost 100% by 4 or 5 in the morning, then last throughout the morning hours. How much ice are we talking about in the mountains? I'm still going to stick with this right now. I don't see any difference in anything I would change for the amounts. But 5/100ths to 1/10 of an inch in some of those very isolated spots with the glaze elsewhere. And then just good old-fashioned cold rain here across the Piedmont. So let's get right to the Futurecast. This is where everything is going to be made here. So overnight, you see the precipitation moving in. I'm going to stop this about 2 in the morning. You can see the potential for that icing starting in the mountains, really nothing across the Piedmont. And then it just becomes all rain. I mean, it's miserable cold rain here by 5 a.m. Could be some lingering ice up here. And again, the model's probably not going to handle this very well. A couple things are going on. We've got some upslope flow here, which actually cools the air, and then you got all that evaporative cooling going on. So a couple processes going on are likely going to keep this a little bit icy or longer than you're seeing. But for the Charlotte area, just miserable cold rain, 30s, 40s, maybe warming up. I think the real question for the afternoon is, will we see some thunderstorms right about here? Because some warm air is going to surge in from the south, and there's a potential we could see some thunderstorms develop as that warm air surges up and the cold front moves through. So 7 o'clock tomorrow night, that's a pretty gnarly looking line of showers, maybe some thunderstorms. And I wouldn't be shocked to see some gusty winds. I don't think we're going to see anything widespread severe. This is not anything strong like we had about 2 weeks ago. We had a pretty good event with the tornadoes. Doesn't look like that at all, but it's something to keep an eye on as it pushes off to the east, and then it's a long gone. And then for the weekend, I'm kind of biased because I'll be up in Winter Place, Winterfest, excuse me, up its Blowing Rock. I'll get my correction location there. So we're going to see some northwest flow snow, which is great for the skiers. And I think Winterfest, at least temperatures will be cool enough that it'll feel winter-like and maybe some snowflakes flying. I hope it's cold enough because I'll be making snow up there. I'm doing a snowmaking demo on Saturday. I'm going to try to get out there early when the temperatures are colder and try to get some good snow going up in that area. And just to show you how the temperatures will be pretty crazy tomorrow, the short-range guidance shows the temperature kind of hovering in the low to mid 30s through the morning, but then look at this warm air trying to surge in. And again, this is one of those tough ones. Cold air is going to get trapped here. How far this warm air gets north is always the million-dollar question in this setup. And then it pushes off to the east as the cold front sweeps back in late Friday night. So again, if you're going up to Winterfest, here's my forecast. Friday, kind of wet. But Saturday, probably a little bit of snow, and Sunday, we're looking at some 30s up in the Blowing Rock area, so if you're heading up there. Okay, one last note. I'm going to do an update probably early next week as we talk about this winter pattern. I know everybody, snow lovers out there, wondering, Brad, are we going to see snow? People have given up. Hey, let's be honest. It's been a warm and wet winter. We kind of expected that. I forecasted above average snowfall this winter, and I'm going to stick to my guns right now, even though the time is running out. We've got about a month and a half of a window for snow. But the thing is, February and early March is by far the snowiest part of the season, and we're just entering that. And this little hint I'll drop, looking at the February pattern, it does not look anything like January or December. I can't guarantee we're going to see some snow, but the pattern in February by far looks like the best pattern we've seen in the 3 months of winter so far. I think the question mark is still going to be the cold, but it certainly looks cool and stormy. Much more reminiscent of what we've had here in the last week and the next couple of weeks, which you notice the highs, even when it warms up now next week, we're talking mid to upper 50s, not 60s and near 70s. So it's not quite as cold. So something to keep an eye on as we go into next week. I think I'll do an update as I have a couple more days of data, but just let you know the first couple weeks of February are looking cool and wet right now. Does that mean snow? It's impossible to forecast more than 7 days out any legitimate chance of snow. At this point, there's nothing in the next 7 days, but the long-range pattern is something to keep an eye on. Have a great night, everybody, and if you're up in Blowing Rock this weekend, be sure to stop by and say hello.